share your concern with them. You can call any member of the staff. I have an open door policy, so any citizen can certainly come meet with me. We would prefer you work with the staff versus elected official, but elected officials there, and they're your representative, and a lot of people do. First phone call is to their ward council member, which is fine. They immediately refer it to us, and we start working on the issue, whatever that might be. But that's just to get something done in your street, your neighborhood, or your trash got missed, or whatever it was. But then on bigger issues, like if you've got concerns about policy, and you think the city should adopt a new policy or a new procedure, you can certainly bring that forward to a council meeting. We have an open forum time at every council meeting, and so citizens can come to the microphone and talk to the council about any one subject. The advantage of using that system, you're talking to the entire council at the same time, because an individual council member has no authority on their own. Their authority comes from the body they've been elected to. And so if you really want to get the council to change something for the city, for your neighborhood or whatever it might be, you really should talk to the entire council. So come to the council meeting, express your point. You may not get feedback immediately, but I would expect council would assign something to me to get to staff to work on the matter and see if we can propose a new policy if that's what they want to do. So you can call your council member, email your council members, write them a letter. You can call us, any of our departments, my office. You can show up at council meeting. So there's many opportunities for citizens to participate in their local government and get pretty immediate feedback, which is something you don't get from the state or the federal government. So at least here, you can control your destiny to an extent. Now, any decision that's made by council, they're looking at the community as a whole. So they'll consider your personal interests or your neighborhood's interests and try to accommodate you, but at the same time, they have to be concerned about the health, safety, and welfare of the entire community.
Right, it's all about the best for the whole.
Yeah, sure.
I've been hearing a lot about Texarkana trying to revise its city code. Can you tell me what that means?
Oh, yes. Over the years, when council adopts ordinances or sets law for the public, those are codified into the code of ordinances, and we actually hire a firm that maintains our code for us, called MuniCode Corporation, and so they keep an online version, and then they also publish a hard copy version. It's about 6 inches thick, so it's a pretty big book, and ours is quite old. They update it from time to time, bits and pieces. As a new ordinance is adopted, it's incorporated into the code, but you don't really go through and take out much over the years. And so right now, we've hired MuniCode Corporation again to review our code cover to cover and work with staff, and we've gone through round one where we've gone through every page of the code, every ordinance, and the attorney that's working for MuniCode, he's quite versed with state law. So he's looking for conflicts between our code and state law, and he's identified all those. And we had a day-long session last week where we sat with him and all the staff went through their portions with him, and we've given him direction to take stuff out, leave stuff in. And the good thing about this, we can take things out of the code, but they're not rescinded. They still stay law. They're just not going to be published in the code anymore because they've become outdated or whatever. Now, the council could separately go rescind those, but that's not the effort at this point. Effort is to clean up the code, get it to where it's very readable, understandable, and it's appropriate for the community. And we're taking a lot of things out that don't apply to the citizens. Over the years, things have gotten into the code that apply to the staff. Well, that's internal policy. It doesn't need to be published in the code because the code needs to be a reference book for the citizens or companies that come here or whoever to say what's the law that I need to follow and how do I do it, and that's what will be in the code. So we're doing that right now, and we expect to bring a revised code to the city council for them to consider to re-adopt the entire code at one time, probably within the next 4 months. So that's what we're doing in changing our code.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Are there any other projects that the city staff and administration are working on?
Oh, we're working on lots of things. Of course, projects for us fall into a couple categories. One would be the capital projects or construction projects. Then other projects are all about policy and changing policy and improving our procedures and making things more efficient. So on the construction side, of course, most people in the city have been involved one way or another by either trying to drive through Moore's Lane, that area of the city. Well, turns out that's not a city project. That was a state project, because that's a state road. And so we get the blame when things don't go well, because we're the closest local government, because that's who you can call. But we don't get the glory when it's finished, because DOT, they get the glory. But that was their road. But we have a road near there that we're doing as a local project, and that's Morris Lane. And that's going to open up another east-west travelway from Summerhill to Richmond, which is two major thoroughfares that go north-south. And so to give people more alternatives of how to travel about the city. So that project's underway, and it's well underway because it's not all that street was already open. So when you're building a road and where there's no road, it goes much faster because you don't have to keep it open to traffic while you're trying to build the road. So that one's well underway. We just broke ground on another project, another part of University Avenue out by Summerhill off of Schilling. And that's going to give another access to the university, which is good. You know, we do want to make that part of the city very travel friendly for the university. So it's going to grow, and we want to be able to accommodate traffic out in that area eventually. So those two projects are underway. We have another project downtown that we're going to start pretty soon, is some enhancements downtown to make more of our sidewalks handicap accessible, which is very needed in our downtown area. And then we have Bringle Lake Park project that's been underway a while, and it's about to wrap up. When we built University Avenue, we had to close a part of that park, but since it was a grant-funded park back in the day when it was built, we have to restore it. And so we've restored it on the east side of the lake versus all on the west side of the lake. And so we basically have kind of two parks, east and west. They're going to be connected by a very attractive trail and boardwalk and a bridge. But the new part's got 10 new picnic pavilions. I think the citizens are going to be real excited about it because they're in heavily wooded areas, which makes it a nice setting. And so that's about to wrap up. We probably have a grand opening within the next couple of months to get so people can start using that. So those are on the side of construction type projects. Then on the policy side, we're always looking to improve our procedures, our process. And you may have noticed over the last few months, our council meeting process has changed. When I arrived here, items would be put on the agenda. They would get to the council for a vote and be out in front of the public a week. Now we bring things to council, and they're scheduled to go to council 4 different meetings before they're finally voted. And so the citizens have a chance to see, and they can read all the documents online of what the council is actually going to consider. And so we've really opened up the transparency of our government. We improved our website. So we're very active in getting the information out of what we're working on, how we're working on it, and looking for public input. So on that side, so we're always trying to improve our efficiencies and our effectiveness on that side. So the staff is never idle. They're doing their everyday business as well as little projects that I give them to help improve how we deliver the services to the public and how we let the public know what we're going to do with projects or change laws or how we do business.
All righty. Well, John, thank you so much for joining us today on Texarkana Talk. We really appreciate all the hard work you've put in, and of course we appreciate all the public servants who helped to make Texarkana the city it is.
Okay.
All right, that's it for today on Texarkana Talk. I'm Vernicia, and after all, stay active because it's a great day to be in Texarkana.